And welcome. My name is Jason Davis. This is Empower Volusia and Common Sense. We're coming to you from a hidden location, somewhere in the upper highlands of West Volusia County in an iron bunker, and we are guarded by 2 rabid Pomeranians and 1 crazy cat. Yes, today's date is October 30th, and you know what tomorrow is? Oh, anyways, before we go into all that here, what we're going to do is we're going to let you know that we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on iTunes, we're on iCloud, we're on Twitter, and we're everywhere. So all you got to do is just look up Jason Davis Common Sense, and you'll find us up there somewhere. And go ahead. Or you can be listening to Jason Davis Common Sense, JasonDavisPodcast.com, and that's where we're at, Common Sense, yes. I need to kind of remember my brain here and get my own common sense going on. But anyways, today's October 30th. You know what tomorrow is? October 31st, 2019. And what day is it? Well, it's the day that all the little kiddies will dress up as their favorite characters and go out and knock on your door and say, trick or treat, to where you have to give them candy. What a way to promote juvenile diabetes, huh? Anyways, but no, it's another interesting day in our national capital. That's right. Within the House of Representatives, they will vote. That's right. They will vote on the rules to start an impeachment process for impeachment inquiry of the President of the United States of America.
There you go again.
That's right. There they go again. Again, one more time. Of course, this is nothing more than a sham in the first place. The House of Representatives, Democrats, have been trying to impeach a president of the United States since November of 2016. Actually, since the day after he won his election, because they just can't get over it. But, of course, unless you've been living on a desert island with no electricity, cell phone, or any other kind of, things going on, there where you can actually hear what's going on, then, of course, you don't know about that. But I'm sure you know about it today because it's been everywhere. And today's date, October 30th, 2019, so tomorrow, when they have their floor vote in the House of Representatives, they're going to set up these really arbitrary rules to do an impeachment inquiry. And, of course, you can look up the resolution, HB 660, on the web, and for that particular vote. And you'll find out that all 6 committees that are investigating impeachment on the President of the United States, yes, you heard me right, 6 committees. Once they have gotten done with their investigations, they'll funnel all their data into the Judiciary Committee with the lead Democrat of Mr. Nadler to oversee this quote-unquote unbiased process. So apparently October 31st, Halloween of this year, the House of Representatives, well, they're all going to come up as, let's just say, the circus is in town and the clowns are running the big top. And as they bring forth to the floor a resolution that will limit even further involvement of the Republican Party in the impeachment process. And, what do I mean by limit even further? Well, this resolution gives the chairman of the Intel Committee, Mr. Adam Schiff, a Democrat from California, the sole power to allow Republicans to leadership to bring forth rebuttal witnesses. Yes, it states he can either approve or disapprove of these witnesses. Talk about stacking the deck. It also limits the questions that the Republicans can actually ask of the witnesses that are called. Once again, they're stacking the deck. To continue on with this process, the Democrats will actually need 218 votes to pass this resolution. Now, this resolution does not state if it does not pass, the investigation will end. This was very well written so that if this resolution did not pass, the investigation will continue, and Adam Schiff will still have the bully pulpit to leak, and yes, I said leak, information to the media to justify his position on impeachment of the president. So, question, do the Democrats actually have 218 votes? Well, Yes, they do. They have over 230 votes in the House, and all they need is a majority vote. So, and the majority is 218. Oh. And I'm sure that all of these representatives up there know that they're going to have to go for a re-election here again in 2020. See, the House of Representatives serves 2 years, and they have been out on the campaign trail trying to raise money and get reelected every 2 years, and they're out there doing it now. So a big warning to all of these Democrats that are in Republican-heavy districts. You vote to impeach the president or even continue with this inquiry, your reelection will be in jeopardy. Let me say that again. I want to make this perfectly clear to you.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
You vote for this, your reelection will be in jeopardy. And I'm not stating threats here. I'm just stating facts. To all those Democrats that voted for that resolution, all these heavy Republican districts that voted for you and voted for Donald Trump, remember that. And if you become, well, shall we say a turncoat, not if you just follow the party lines, yeah, believe me, the voters of America will latch onto that, and you may be looking for, well, let's just say another job. The benefit of this resolution will be that all future inquiries and witnesses will be interviewed in open chambers, though. So that's a good thing. No more leaking of the law. No more breaking of the law there, Mr. Chef. Yes, he broke the law by releasing information from a closed depositions. That's illegal. This is like a grand jury investigating a crime to see if there were charges to be brought forth, and one of the jurists was speaking about the case to the media. That's illegal. You can't do it. You're also not supposed to know who's in there. So that's very, very illegal, especially when Adam Schiff releases just a little bits of information just to enforce his narrative. Which brings to mind maybe another question. So many questions, so few answers, that's right. Here it is, folks. Who was this infamous whistleblower? Now that Adam Schiff himself has said in his leaking to the media, we don't even need a whistleblower anymore. Well, who the heck was this guy? Apparently, Mr. Schiff, he isn't viable enough for you to continue on with it. Matter of fact, I got a bigger question. Was there ever even any whistleblower? In all the years that I've been following politics, never have I ever heard of a whistleblower that didn't go directly to CNN, ABC, NBC, or one of the other mainstream media outlets, and be in a, shall we say, behind the screen in the shadows, with a distorted voice talking about how they testified to or wrote on their whistleblower forms, this or that or whatever. And the whistleblower did not even follow the appropriate protocols. You know, they're supposed to file a whistleblower report with the AG office. So let me throw this out for you. How about this? And this is just a scenario. And in my personal opinion, this kind of fits in with the scenario. Adam Schiff got wind secondhand about a conversation the president had with the president of the Ukraine. Now, his absolute vitriol or hatred for the president of the United States and the fact that he won an election against his best friend Hillary Clinton, he went to his own staff and said, here's our plan, and here's what we're going to do. You direct one of your other friends to go file this report. And they went and they found a friend, somebody who was in the government before. And apparently the individual in question here that we're now hearing something about, and I won't say his name because we don't verify that. We haven't verified that this is actually who it is. But they went to a friend, and they said, we want you to do this. And then they sent him under the direction of Mr. Schiff, because he admits to it, that he did meet with, and his staff met with the whistleblower. And they directed him to go to an attorney and to write and file a report on the information given to him by their boss, Adam Schiff. And by the way, who would not follow the directions of their boss anyways, especially up in Congress? You're getting a good paycheck. You better follow what the boss says. Then, of course, this report is sent back to Mr. Schiff. And he gets into Congress in his Intel committee, and he opens up his investigation there in the Intel committee, stating, I have this whistleblower report that President Donald Trump did a quid pro quo. He then makes his own scenario out, and the first meeting of the investigation there, he makes his own scenario as to what happened on that particular conversation. Essentially, Mr. Schiff lied to the American people. You remember that, right? You remember what he said. He said that the President of the United States said, I'm going to ask you a favor, and I want you to listen good, because I'm only going to say this 9 times. Mr. Schiff should be held in contempt, because that was after, believe it or not, the release of the transcript from that phone call.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
And by the way, you can listen to a reading of it here on this particular podcast under the archives, under the Ukraine transcript, because I read it, and it took 27 minutes to read. Now, they're saying that there were 20 minutes missing, but the time frame says from 9:03 to 9:33. It took me 27 minutes to read it, and I mean, I read it as fast as I could. I know I mispronounced a few words and maybe stumbled a little bit, but that's okay. You get the gist of what the conversation was about. But I also am not Ukrainian searching for the right English word, which took more time than it took for me. At no time did Mr. Trump ever say, I want you to dig up dirt on my opponent. He actually said, I want you to look into this Ukraine corruption thing with CrowdStrike. To which the president of Ukraine said, yes, I agree, and I'm looking into it. But anyways, digressing. So Adam Schiff read this fantasized transcript, this fairy tale, shall we say, of what he perceived it to be, the conversation from the actual intel officers that had been sitting in that room listening to the phone as the call was going on. And hence, ladies and gentlemen, this is the start of where the games now begin.
Let's get ready to rumble!
But you know what? Mr. Schiff is actually right. What? What did you say there, Mr. Davis? You said Mr. Schiff is actually right? I did. He is correct in only one aspect. We no longer need the whistleblower, due to the fact that we have the actual record, the transcript of the phone call. Anything any witness may say or whistleblower may have written down is totally and completely debunked, because you have the one and only piece of evidence in this impeachment case. That's it. There's only one piece of evidence. It's this transcript. And the only reason why he would say, oh, we don't even need that whistleblower, because there really wasn't one. And he'll be debunked under cross-examination. That's true. He will be debunked under cross-examination from the Republicans. Could you just imagine it? Could you just imagine the senior Republican on that Intel board just going after this guy? It's wow, it would be amazing. And it must be a guy, because apparently Adam Schiff has met him, and he constantly says he. He knows who it is. So the transcript of that particular call. Let me try this in English here, folks. Sorry, my lips, I trip over them sometimes. The transcript of the phone call is a legal and binding recording of that phone call. It is as true and exact as it can be. There's no weapon or forensic evidence involved in this particular impeachment case. It's just a phone call. The end. Nothing more. And you have the transcript released by the White House and declassified. Wow. Anything that is said by a witness as to what the president may have meant, or what they believe, or how they feel, or what's in their opinion is really all just hearsay and actually not even admissible in any court of law. And we are about to go to a trial. That's what this is all about. And when you do a little deep dive into some of these witnesses, these are people that might have an axe to grind, so to speak, with the president. They were released from their duties for not performing as per requested, or they're holdovers from the Obama administration, or they have words for the president or with the president, or for whatever reason they may have just quit. A disgruntled employee does not make a good witness against the boss. Period. The end, folks. That's what we've got. Disgruntled employees. And quite a few of them, as we have been told, have political bias against the president. Those also are bad witnesses. So when you boil it right down, folks, when you boil it right down to the base and evaporate all the Bravo Sierra, that's for all my military brothers and sisters, you have one piece of evidence, the actual transcript of the phone call. The end. There's nothing else.
Go ahead. Make my day.
So when most of these people that are screaming impeachment are confronted with this one phone call, and the actual transcript of what was said, they actually have nothing to say. And when you ask them, but did you read the transcript? And I've asked this, people about this who are raising a fuss about the phone call. When I ask them about it, their eyes glaze over. They get really stupefied look on their faces, and they just say, no, I didn't read it. Well, I did.
You can't handle the truth!
Even Adam Schiff has never read that transcript, and we know this for a fact just because of his arguments and discussions and leaking of information from closed-door testimony, which is supposed to be kept secret. Hey, Adam Schiff, quit breaking the law. Quit leaking. No one's above the law, as he has stated, and you know what? He needs to be charged with that particular violation. So now that I've ranted and raved on about this impeachment process again, it's up again, because that takes up a lot of our local as well as federal news. I have to ask you, the listener, one question. What has Congress done for the past 3+ years? Can you answer that?
Promises, stupid as a stupid does.
The well over 90% of the elected officials in our Congress have stated we need to secure our border, build a wall, stop illegal immigration. Even past presidents have said this. Even Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and George Bush 1, George Bush 2, Nancy Pelosi, all of them. And we have a president that actually starts to do this, and they start screaming immigration issues, separation of children from families, on and on and on. But has the Congress done any type of immigration reform? The answer is no. And I don't know when this happened, but for some reason, health care insurance is the highest priority of everybody in the country. You gotta have health care. You gotta have insurance. The previous administration and Congress supported, voted, and approved and signed into law Obamacare. It jacked the price of insurance up so high nobody can afford it, and instead of having only 25 million people without health care, I just heard a number the other day, there's almost 45 million people without health care insurance now. I guess that fixed it, didn't it? Enter Donald Trump, President of the United States. One of the first acts was to get rid of the mandatory health care insurance ruling of Obamacare. Guess what? The cost of insurance is going down. It's all about the money, folks. How much can you afford to buy? Yet when it's confronted to Congress to do some sort of health care reform, they say no. When President Trump got into office and he promised the American people he would lower taxes, and he did, now the Congress is having a fit that he's supporting the billionaires in this country. Wow, there's only 55 of them. He's one of them. They refuse to let you know or even talk about the fact that our income tax bill has been reduced all the way down to the lowest wage earning person in this country, putting more money in their pocket, in your pocket, paycheck to paycheck, and reducing their tax burden at the end of the year. They like to make these little sound bites so that a rising tide rises all boats, except they don't want to let you know that a tax deduction reduces everyone's tax burden. We could go on for hours counting and raising praise to all the great accomplishments that this one president has done in 3 years under. It's been just so great. He's been doing it under such great duress, too. One of the very few presidents in our history that's ever done what he said he was going to do and promised to do it. Promises made, folks. And yes, these promises have been kept. I do believe Ronald Reagan said it best. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? Definitely, folks. The answer is yes. But fear thee not, my fellow American. For after the sham of an investigation, the House will have to pass articles of impeachment with a 2/3 majority vote. And as of this minute, those votes are not there. That means that 312, roughly, give or take a few, will have to vote for the articles of impeachment. And if the Dems continue on this course as they have, the Republicans will not support those articles. America, I'm here to tell you it's time to wake up. This November coming up, folks, not this month coming, but in a year from now, you really need to think this through. Do the research. Look who's doing what in Congress, and is your representative fighting the president on the return, or, let me try that again, is your representative fighting the president, or is your representative supporting and trying to get his job done that you sent him there to do? We pay these people over $170,000 a year to sit around and for roughly 7 months a year. That's it. They're only there for 7 months. They're always on vacation, summer break, spring break. Right now they're going on the Christmas hiatus. They're only there for 7 months, and they're there to make laws for our country and our citizens. My personal opinion, they're doing a lousy job right now because those that are in power that have the majority are fighting everybody at every turn. Their sole function is to impeach Donald Trump. So do your research. Find out who's doing their job and who's not. Who's out there trying to help this country? Who's trying to do immigration reform? Who's trying to fix the health care, stop the opioids epidemic going around this country, trying to reduce prescription drug costs? And who's up there just there to fight the president? I think about those who are offering you free everything. Guess what? They cannot produce it. They cannot produce it because I tell you, it's not within the authority of the President of the United States. It has to go through Congress and the Senate, be debated, voted on, and then go to the President for signatures. Free health care, free Medicare, free college, free everything. There ain't no free lunch, folks. And in other words, when you go into that voting booth to put your little mark on that piece of paper to elect senators, representatives, and the president, please, folks, just do me a favor. Use a little common sense.